Welcome back to the Afro Anime Initiative. I am your host, Darren Bradley, along with
Paulina, hey guys.
here at the Afro Anime Initiative. We cover everything in Afrofuturism from A to Z. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are close, so close to getting something with a Z. You can follow the Afro Anime Initiative when you discover that thing at Z at Afro Anime Initiative on Facebook, Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram, and Afro underscore AI right here on YouTube, and Afro underscore AI on Twitter. Please follow us on our socials to keep up with the latest news in Afrofuturism. Paulina, how you doing today, love?
I am existing. That is the best I can say. How are you?
Wow, I'm doing great, but that's the perfect segue because some things probably won't be existing for long. Now
Yeah.
that's what we call clickbait. Last week, we didn't have a podcast last week. And last week, we got reports that Cinemarks in the UK and some in the United States were shutting down due to the constant moving of these blockbuster releases. I'm doing it with quotations, blockbusters. And man, the theater industry, let me repeat that one more time. The theater industry is hurting a lot from this pandemic with people just not willing to go in. Like, Paulina, will you answer the quick bait question? Are the theaters dead?
To be on the safe side, not entirely, because it looks like they're still planning on releasing movies in theaters. So I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but okay. Um, Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to get
Nobody
sick.
wants to die.
Nobody wants to get sick and die. Me, I am sporadic with going to theaters because I'm just picky. Like a vast majority of
Mhm.
stuff that came out in theaters in the past maybe 5 years just didn't really catch my interest all that much. Maybe except Black Panther. I definitely saw that in theaters. Anything else I don't even
Mhm.
recall. But after that, like now with this pandemic, it's like no, I'm good with my streaming stuff. I'm okay.
Exactly.
Anything else
Exactly.
that gets released, I can wait for it. I'm not impatient for it. It'll release on
Right.
one platform at some point or another, and I got access either through my name or somebody else's. I will be able to see it at some point.
Facts.
So
Facts.
it's
And
not an
that's the
issue.
thing that Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me. Like me going to the movie theater, I didn't go to the movie theaters every weekend. No, I ain't a kid no more, and I ain't dating nobody, so I ain't going to the movie theaters every weekend anyway. I went to the movie theaters for certain comic book stuff with my aunt and my cousin because my aunt is an old OG comic book reader. So we went for that. That's it. Other than that, it was a date, and even then, it was like, do we really need to go to the movie theaters for a date? Because movie theaters suck. I'm sorry, y'all. Movie theaters suck now. Sticky floors, terrible service, assholes on the phone. Food is bad. That's why you got these specialty places where you get liquor and gourmet chefs and stuff. But a regular movie theater, trash. It is. The movie theater experience that you pine for, the olden days, doesn't exist anymore. They don't clean their floors. That stuff's over. So I'm gonna sit at home. I'll relax. I get me a giant screen TV that probably got better resolution than the stupid projector in the first place. Have you seen the opening of The Dark Knight on a giant 72-inch 4K screen? You haven't. Could you? I'm not you. I'm talking about the other people, probably not you, but the people out there. But so don't talk about you have to have it in the theater. Get out of here. Especially when the theater been sucking for the last, I don't know, 40 years. But yeah, they not dead. They just suck, and this is waking them up, and they begging for help. And the studio's like, but we spent $200 million on this. We want our money back too. And I understand what they saying, but you guys do this. You guys do this. You're the movies. You got to help us. But look what y'all done. Y'all tried to strong arm people. Y'all kept Netflix out the theater. Now Netflix like, well, we need y'all for. We'll buy our own building and put our movies in there. And guess what? It works. And now you begging for people help. But when they went to you, like, yo, let's make a deal. Let's change this around. You didn't want to listen. You wanted to try to strong arm people. Now, I remember when we covered that story about Disney. Disney was strong arming the theaters. I was on the theater side. Now, looking how the theaters act, I'm like, you know what? Maybe the evil empire was right for once. Just once. We ain't going to give them too much credit. Just once.
We can't give them too much credit because
But,
we'll get bloated with, just get bloated.
So what we're going to do is completely segue into the next story because that was great too. Disney is so bloated; they're restructuring everything and focusing on streaming service. Our next major topic is Disney. This past week had a conference with investors and shareholders talking about how they're restructuring Disney, refocusing all their slices. That's what we call the areas which they focus in. That is theater, streaming, merchandising, and parks. All their slices are really all starting to focus in on streaming. Make this so it works for Disney Plus. Make this to get more people to Disney Plus. You got a ride, that ride come out next to this movie attached to this TV show. Make sure it's going to be on Disney Plus, and that ride and all the other stuff is getting ready. If it's a success, to open up, get people into the parks. They are not cutting out movie theaters, but Disney's like, yeah, we want to make money on both sides. We want to be the highest grossing in the theaters like we have been the past few years, and we want that Netflix money. They've restructured the entire empire to focus on getting Disney Plus to those consistent Netflix levels of money. Disney, how do you feel about Disney? Paulina, how do you feel about Disney restructuring to focus on streaming service?
Shit, if my name was Disney, I would not be here. Well, I mean, I feel like Disney bait, I don't know, their time. When it comes to all this, I think they just like analyze the market and are like, okay, our strongest shot is with streaming and getting people into our theme parks. Yes, they're going to be consistently releasing their big hits in the theaters, which I'm like, okay. I mean, if the pandemic is not stupid later on, then okay, I could see how could work. Granted, you fanboys and girls out there, I know y'all would still probably would be lining up to see those movies in theaters, but I don't know. That's just me. Um, 'Cause I don't know. I feel like it's a wait and see kind of thing. Like, how would that work out? Like, honestly, um, with their original stuff hitting their streaming service as early as 2021, right? WandaVision. WandaVision.
WandaVision still coming out this year.
Oh, what date? I didn't. Oh, I missed that.
They moved it to Snoop. No, it's coming after Mandalorian now, so that should be November.
Okay, okay, all right. So, if they're consistent with their original streaming content, besides WandaVision and Mandalorian, like Winter Soldier and the Falcon, and even more stuff, it could work. I can see that it could work. But looking at delays in filming and how they haven't even started filming some projects yet because of the pandemic, I don't know. I don't know what their timing would be. So it's like I guess it's just a wait and see kind of thing.
So yeah, I was thinking that at first until I listen to people who are way smarter than me break down the analysis and the financial reports.
Uh-huh.
Disney realized that the only thing that they have consistent that they can hold up right now during the pandemic is television. Television doesn't do as well as it used to when it comes to advertising because everybody owns everything now. Look, half the people, if you own, say, a movie theater company, you also own a soap company or something, or people that make cleaning products. So you advertise in the movies anyway. So if you own that means you also own a television station. So you put all those advertisements of your soap product on your own television station. So Disney, like, okay, we eating ourselves. We need to structure something to focus so we can get consistent money. And I think that's what makes this so, I don't want to say genius because they're copying HBO Max. It's genius because they're saying we don't need nobody else's stuff. Like none of their stuff. But HBO Max, Warner Brothers still need other people. But it didn't but no, I don't think we need anybody if we fix this. The problem is, I think, going to be in not even like if something gets delayed, but if it's done, that it's accurate. Because Disney has created this circular need for, okay, if I'm going to spend my money on it, it better be perfect. And let's be honest, they started with the princesses. They started long before they bought anybody up, before Pixar, before Marvel, before Star Wars. With the princesses, that dress didn't match that dress. in that movie or that cartoon, Disney wasn't having it. But now you got all these other billion-dollar properties, and you got to start doing the same thing with all of them. Else you're going to get trouble. Because people are like, I'm not buying something 3 times over because you didn't get it right the first time. I think that's going to be their major problem. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to process all this. I mean,
yeah,
you're right. Sorry.
no problem. Yeah, I think that's going to be the major problem. It's going to be getting all that stuff together, making it accurate, making it film accurate, television accurate, park accurate. Because if I'm gonna spend money to go into Disney World, and then you want me to buy stuff in Disney World, it better be exactly like I need for my little memory from 10 minutes ago when I watched it in theaters. That's why I'm gonna spend even more money.
I say
Anything?
C game. That's all. That's all.
Nah. Speaking of streaming services and people trying to do stuff, HBO Max, and I try not to be biased, y'all. I do. I really like everything. If I could spend money, I spend money on all of it. But HBO Max, Warner Brothers, DC have announced a Green Lantern television show. A Green Lantern show on HBO Max. 7 episodes long. I think it'll be about an hour long. It will star Scott Allen, the original Green Lantern from the comic books, Baz, a Muslim character who was introduced a few years ago, who wields a gun even though he's a Green Lantern. Our main man, Guy Gardner. I love Guy Gardner, I really do. I don't care what nobody say that. That redheaded punk is the best. And Jessica Cruz, probably the funnest Green Lantern that's come out in a long time. She had a really cool arc about being a Green Lantern, overcoming her fears, because Green Lantern's about willpower, overcoming your fears. She actually had a fear to overcome. It was really cool. But they're doing this show with that cast of characters. No Jon Stewart. No Kyle Rayner. Yeah. Okay, let's just get into it. I want to explain it to the audience. I want to explain the show to the audience. I would like you guys to have your own opinion about it, not just listen to me. But in all honesty, they sound dumb as hell because they're gonna do the Muslim character who has a gun. Again, a Muslim with a gun, which didn't work in the comic books. People seem to forget that. It didn't work. People got really pissed off about that. They had to change it. They had to write a whole story about why he carried the gun and then get rid of the gun. Why you want it? Don't introduce that in the TV show. Let it go. Let him just be a Muslim dude dealing with this stuff. Okay? Scott Allen. In the original, he's a straight white dude, blonde white dude. I mean, 1940s. I mean, come on, cool. War, whatever. The comic books back then. Recently, they've tried to turn him into a gay man. Nothing wrong with that. People can discover their sexuality at whatever when they get older. They can figure it out, after years of trying to deny it, whatever. The problem is, tried in the comic books. It didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Because you didn't have anybody who understood the gay experience of coming out, how to write it. Okay? They tried it again. A little bit better. Not too well, because once again, bad writing. Guy Gardner was probably, in my opinion, only written well twice. Twice. Even though I love him, but only twice. But the reason he's never done well is because of poor writing. And I bring this up because the writers for this project, the people who worked on the first Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds, and writers from the CW.
Because of course that's going to work out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, exactly. This doesn't work. The CW only stays around by volume, but every year they lose hundreds of thousands of viewers. But because they have so many shows, it's just, hey, remember that time you spent sitting here watching this? Hey, watch some more stuff. We put some new stuff here that you might like. You only like it for one episode, then it's bad again. That's why they stay afloat. The CW is not good writing, guys. It's not. It's not. It's melodrama and it's bad melodrama. So you take this delicate situation of you got all these Green Lanterns, the power, the CGI, the personalities, and you give it to people who've proven that they are constrained, can't write well because writing well can cover up not have enough money for all the effects. It can cover up even poor actors. The writing can help at times, but they've proven they can't do this. Why are you still hiring people who've proven they can't do this? I love the Green Lanterns. Like I've always liked the Green Lanterns. I even liked uh, Hal Jordan punk, but I liked his stuff because it was sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi geek. I like that stuff. But it got better when you added in the diversity. It got better when you added in different personalities. Can you tell me any personalities of anybody on the CW other than Angst, Comic Relief, and Idiot Hero? Those are the only freaking personalities they have.
Oh, and stubborn teenager. Don't forget
You
that.
can't do that. Oh, stubborn teenager. I'm so sorry. Please, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can't. It is, but that's not the Green Lanterns.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
So I'm going to stop another DC rant and just say this is something that when we have to spend money to see, and I know there are avenues to get stuff, please believe me, I know. But you want to support the stuff you want out there. I want a Green Lantern television show. I want a Green Lantern movie. I want DC to do fantastic. But if you keep making the same mistakes, and this goes to Marvel too. I'm watching y'all. We got a story about them coming up soon. I'm not gonna spend my money on this anymore. And then y'all gonna say, well, nobody wants it. No, we want it. We just don't want your crap. Okay, I'm done. P, your thoughts on the Greenland HBO Max television series?
They're gonna turn it into a CW drama.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. That's it. That's it.
Okay, because they are, and that's what's gonna suck.
That's all. That's what's gonna happen. And you know what? Honestly, I don't care for it. I just don't. I just found it interesting, and I'm like, but why? This is literally one of those things when I saw it, I just went, but why?
Yeah,
And here we are. Here we are.
yeah,
They're apparently serious about this, but okay, sure, sure, guys.
yeah.
Sounds gonna work.
Yes, we're gonna move on from then to other people adjacent to Warner Brothers DC making stupid decisions. Gail Gadot wants to play, or Gail Gadot, whatever. Gail Gadot wants to play Cleopatra.
What the fuck? Ooh, oh my god,
Yeah,
that sounds like a nickname for a coworker of mine. I'm not gonna get into that.
no, okay. Gail Gadot was gonna play Cleopatra. Paramount has signed the deal with Patty Jenkins, her Wonder Woman director, and no, stop, stop. Cleopatra, from all somewhat reputable scientists, is probably Greek, some Greek with Syrian and Iranian descent. She a brown girl. She's a brown girl.
She's still a brown girl.
Plain and
She's a
simple.
brown girl. Period.
Yes, period. She's a brown girl. I like Gal Gadot. I do. But lady, besides the fact you're from Israel and
Mm-hmm.
on no dumb stuff, the people that Cleopatra is the ancestor of, they got beef with Israel. Why would y'all pick an Israeli woman to play this role just to stir up something for no reason? For no reason.
Remember Gods of Egypt?
Yeah, I remember Gods of Egypt.
Reminds me of that.
And you would think you would have learned.
Oh no, it's Hollywood. What did you expect from Hollywood? We got a white female director. What do you think? She was not gonna do anything. On top of that, on top of that, when I see the actress, and I'm like, that's she's not Cleopatra at all by any means, because even back then in the ancient times, she was not considered a classic beauty. She was extremely clever, extremely smart, and charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
That did the work for her primarily. Like, she was decent looking,
Facts.
but
Facts. She was
why not use
considered ugly.
the hell?
She was considered ugly. She had a Roman nose. People don't understand. Only Romans thought Roman nose were pretty.
Right. Exactly. Like, I
It's
saw a thread pushed by
yeah.
a bunch of Egyptian dark skinned, light brown complexions.
Actors, actresses. I saw that. Yeah.
Yes, they looked gorgeous, and I'm like, why the fuck not them? Oh, but then I realized it's Hollywood.
Right.
The audience is not ready for that, according to Hollywood.
Right. Oh, and to catch up when you share these insightful threads about the international reaction to these type of stories, follow us on Twitter at Afro_AI. You gotta do the cheap plug. Gotta throw the cheap plug in there.
It works.
But yeah, that's it's amazing. And the thing is, the reason I even heard about this because somebody was complaining about Angelina Jolie flexing her muscle around because she wanted to play Cleopatra. I'm like, yeah, but you shouldn't do it either. What are you talking about? You shouldn't do it either.
It's okay. She's fine. She's fine
Yeah,
with
like
it. It's okay. You're good.
doing look. Go talk to Brad. I know y'all not married no more, but talk to him. Be like, yo, we need to do another Mr. and Mr. Smith. Can we get that? Give me that. That movie is fire.
The movie was fun as hell.
Ah, yeah, give me that. But stop this because, oh boy, because if you want to tell the story of a historical character, yes, you should get the best actor and actresses for them, but you should get the best actor and actresses that look like them, that come even from the region or close to the region, or I don't know, are at least related to the people in the region. At least
Some semblance
try.
of accuracy.
Yes,
Some semblance of accuracy. Come on.
right, try. And you can't say it don't work because even though I still haven't watched it and I've been told I need to, Aladdin still made dough. None of them people was known except for Will Smith, and Will Smith paid the genie.
Oh,
Unknown
that's
people,
marketing. That's why.
yes,
It was Will Smith. The whole world knew
but
Will
that's,
Smith.
but that's what I'm saying. You can throw Gil Gadot into the movie as another character, as a Roman or something, because did you know that Egypt has a history outside just Roman people coming there messing stuff up? I know, right? Wow. Like there's a whole history.
Life blown. I had no idea. Did you
like,
know
a,
this?
like a whole history. Man, give her another role. Give her another character. Hey, Hollywood. How about y'all read some history books? You can find somebody. Look, go call somebody at Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed and ask them how they discover all those historically accurate things they put into their fantasy video games. Jesus, man. Just stop, y'all, please. Because I'm like, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say honestly, I'm just tired of Cleopatra because the only like
Yeah, that's you.
well-known Cleopatra that I've heard of besides this sort of is the Elizabeth Taylor one, and I don't see the appeal at all. I guess it's because I've never really seen it, but every time I see movie stills and trailers and scenes, I'm just like, that's
Mm,
not Cleopatra. One, two, I didn't. She's not. Elizabeth Taylor's not pretty to me at all. Period. But anyways,
mm,
that's just me. Yeah, no. So it's like every time they always say that they're going to do a movie taking place in ancient Egypt, I'm like, it's gonna be with a bunch of lily white people who are spray tanned into these roles.
yeah. Yeah. Speaking real quick, just side note about Elizabeth Taylor. She didn't want to do that movie.
Interesting.
She didn't want to do
Oh,
it.
you're right. You're right.
But you know
You're
what?
right.
You
She
know what
didn't.
happened? Yeah. But you know what? We know how they got her to do it. They made her the highest paid actress in Hollywood. Y'all know we got you. She said, "Okay, cool, I'll do it." That was it. That's all they had to do. I love it. Love it. She's like, I ain't gonna do this crap. And then they like, no, we'll do this. No, I need to be the highest paid actress in Hollywood. And they like, fine. Bam, there you go. Yeah, just side note. I just like that little, Hollywood history.
Nice.
But yeah, but that stuff gotta stop. It just does, y'all, because Disney has proven, like you say, with marketing, Get actors from that region. Get people that look like the actual people from the place you're talking about. You can still make the money because that's what it's about. You can still make the money. You need to add Gal Gadot as a star to get the movie made. Give her another role. Give her enemy of make her an enemy of Cleopatra. Do something, but stop it. Just stop it.
Also, there are like plenty of other female leaders, women leaders in Egypt, women emperors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some or most of whom had, of course, been erased because they're women. But they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on them, please. Not
Yeah.
that Cleopatra
Read
isn't
history book.
one, and
Read
it's so
history book.
funny that they focus on the one who's not even fully Egyptian.
Right. Right. And again, and they only focus over time dealing with Romans. Other things happened. Um, speaking of, well, I don't know for you. Let me not speak for you.
Mm.
But speaking of questionable movie decisions, Spider-Man 3 news has come out that Tobey Maguire and my man Andrew Garfield are maybe returning for Spider-Man 3 because now Spider-Man 3 looks to be a multiverse movie from Disney Studios and Marvel. Pauline, you go first. What do you think about the return of the Spider-Man?
Okay, so there was actually I forgot to post this. My apologies. Um, there was actually an article yesterday or today. I don't remember. Like Sony stepped forward and actually said something about this movie finally, and
Mm-hmm.
they were saying it's not confirmed. They said it's not confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say no outright. So
Mm-hmm.
they're saying, from what I understand, it's a possibility that these two
Mm-hmm.
will be signed on. But you would think that they would be more discreet about it. You wouldn't hear a word from it. Either somebody leaked or whatever. But personally, the way I see it, it's like they're and it's been said they're trying to make another like quote unquote live action Into the Spider Verse, but with just a shit ton of villains. And only Jamie Foxx is what is it, Electro? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, Electro. But I also heard rumor that this Electro will look different than the one from
Yep.
Spider
Won't
Man.
be blue.
Yes, he will not be blue. Which is okay. I don't know what. Sure. Um, personally, uh, a part of me is like, why? But another part of me is like, okay, I'm kind of curious to know how this is gonna look because I know that it would be because it's dealing with a multiverse. You'll have Doctor Strange, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's added. Benedict Cumberbatch has been added to the movie.
I just love how you had to take your time to say it. Yeah. So okay, so we're definitely dealing with all of that, and my mind is still like, I don't know what to think of this, to be honest. Like, is this gonna be a good thing? Because it will get fans of all the Spider-Mans together. Well, I don't know in unity, but it would definitely get their interest. But I'm curious to know how that would work between Marvel and Sony. Because Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire aren't exactly signed with the MCU. Unless I missed out on that at some point.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
All right.
I don't. I don't know.
Let's
I'm
let's
just gonna
let's
say.
just let's
Oh,
let's just yo
wait,
go ahead.
wait. I also remember something else. Okay, so before the pandemic hit, they had news about, yes, the third Spider-Man movie and about the roles of MJ. How and I think it was at that time they hinted it was going to be a multiverse one because there was going to be another MJ and like two other girls who are going to be like involved in Peter's love life or some shit. And I'm just like, why? What? And it was literally worded in a way that made me think, so this world's MJ is not Mary Jane Watson? What? So
But
I'm
this MJ was never Mary Jane Watson.
right.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that I never understood that. They say it in the first movie. Yeah, they just call me MJ. She's not Mary Jane.
Right. So it's
Like
like,
they said
okay,
that in the movie.
they were gonna this
Oh,
one.
I know that. I can tell you that right now. Oh no, I can tell you right now, right now,
Go ahead.
because the Flash is coming out 2 months later,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and
Oh,
that's the yeah. Kevin Feige like, oh for real? F
uh,
y'all. Hold on. Y'all got Michael Keaton? F y'all. That's all. That's all this is about, yo. This is all this is about, and I don't understand it myself because this works for Wanda. This works for WandaVision. That's her thing. She's, her power. She's crazy. She messes up stuff. It works for Doctor Strange. It's his job to protect stuff from that. Spider Verse works when you establish Peter Parker. When we know who Peter Parker is, it's cool to have different versions of Peter Parker.
mhm.
You could say that the zeitgeist has established Peter Parker, but MCU hasn't
Not
established Peter
yet.
Parker. MCU has
They've
established
included him.
Tony Stark's baby.
Yep.
Right. They've established Tony Stark's baby. They
Okay.
haven't established Peter Parker.
Mm-mm. That's why I'm just like, this feels messy in
It
the
is
worst
messy.
way.
It is messy.
Like it
And
feels
Kevin Feige, because unfortunately, even though, like I said, I'm getting weary of some of the Marvel movies, like I said, Captain Marvel and the Spider-Man Homecoming weren't my, not Homecoming, Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home aren't my favorite Marvel movies. But Kevin, when he goes big and has a reason to mess DC up, he comes out with some beautiful stuff. He does. He does.
okay.
So I'm sitting here like this is stupid. I don't want this. Where's Miles? But
You're
but
right. Hard
right,
same.
right.
I'm
But I
on the
know Kevin's
edge.
gonna put his foot into it. Yeah. Yeah, but he's gonna put his foot into it to make sure Flash looks terrible compared to this. That's so he's gonna come out. He's gonna come out great. That's the only bad part. It's probably gonna be one of the best movies because he's like, oh no, I got to make sure that DC gets. Look, I got to make sure DC understands that if they want to play, they got to play harder than this. Look, he's trying to let DC know, hey, y'all want to play with me? Y'all got to stop leaking stuff.
Oy.
Because you'll leak stuff and then DC got to turn around and say it didn't happen. Marvel leak stuff and be like, oh, yeah, but that was a lie. We made like 18 other things too. We just told you about that one thing. And I've never getting in a conversation with people about this. Like, keep telling people, like, yo, I love Civil War. I think Civil War is a better movie than BVS. But the reason Civil War happened is because DC leaked that they were doing BVS. And everybody's like, that's not true. And I'm like, yo, Kevin Feige's in interview saying, nah. At first, I wasn't going to do it. Then they said they wanted to do it. The Russo brothers said, yo, we got a story. You ready? Said, go. That was it. The only thing that Kevin Feige changed was putting Spider-Man in the movie. It was going to be more Black Panther centered. He was going to be the main focus. But when Sony was like, yo, we suck, let's work something out, he's like, oh, for real? Spider-Man. That's it.
Right. He was like, bet.
Kevin Feige moved, right. Right. He moved everything to make sure whatever he did was going to be better than Warner Brothers in DC. Now, he didn't have nothing to worry about, but still.
Right, right. You're right. Oh, also, real quick, just I needed to rephrase what I was saying about the whole MJ thing. That article was so
Mhm,
misleading, I swear to God. I was
mhm.
aware that this universe's MJ was not Mary Jane Watson. However, it was a version of her that when they mentioned that it was not only going to be her, the MJ Michelle Jones, Michelle, I forgot.
Yes. Hmm.
This one, and then yeah, actual Mary Jane Watson, and then a third one. They didn't say Felicia, so I have no clue who the third one was going to be. Um, so that it was around that time they indicated a multiverse, and yes,
Okay.
yes, it was like, who was it last year? It was sometime last year after. Yeah, it was sometime last year, late last year. They talked about this, but it didn't make much noise for some reason because I guess they just kind of threw it out there and was like, okay, we're done. Um, so I guess it was just something to look out for. And now with this news, with this like with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, it's like, what is going on here? Then you just put it very clearly, like, yeah, no, they just wanted to be better than Warner Brothers because um, with their Flash movie, because it was going to be a multiverse Flash movie too, right? Which,
Hmm.
eh, was it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which I'm like, what? I mean, I haven't. The only DC movie I bothered to see was the Wonder Woman one. Um, so, but as far as I know, it's like, what, what's the? I mean, is that this version of the Flash's thing? I don't know what Warner Brothers is doing.
Yeah, they because the thing is they're jumping ahead and doing Flashpoint. Flashpoint is a story arc where they reset the DC universe,
Hmm.
but that story arc was earned. They're trying to reset their movie universe because they messed up so much. So they're going to do it now. But Kevin Feige, like, yeah, well, we're not going to reset our universe, but we're going to
They're gonna what?
reset the universe. And Kevin Feige's like, yeah, screw y'all. We can try to reset all you want. I'm just going to come out with a better movie that can be understood by people. That's what he's trying to do.
Continuity.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's all it is. So it's just like, okay, Kevin, cool, but we don't want this. We want another Into the Spider Verse movie with Miles Morales and that dope animation and cool music. We want that. And we want y'all to establish Peter Parker in the MCU instead of Tony Stark's baby.
Which is why
Give us
honestly,
Peter.
which
Jeez.
is why honestly I prefer the PS4 version before the remaster. That's the only
Yeah.
Peter Parker besides the first two.
Yeah, that's all. It's just like the things that you want to do, and I understand what you're trying to do, but the things that you want to do, you have to establish the character first. That's why I don't get when people say, well, they should just make this character this, make this character that. That's cool. Well, you can. But let's establish the white version first so we can see how much cooler the other ones are gonna be.
And it's
Like
usually
let's do the history. Right. Let's do the history. Like I said, I don't mind Hal Jordan because I know I'm getting John Stewart. It's cool. But give me Hal Jordan. So when we get John Stewart, be like, oh yeah, that's why we needed John Stewart. Exactly.
the next generation.
All
They're
right.
gonna do better.
Let's
Yay!
exactly look, and they did. We just to stick with the DC analogy. The next generation constantly did better. We got Hal Jordan, then we got John Stewart, then we got Guy Gardner in there throwing in there. Then you get Kyle Rayner. You get better if you, but you don't have to throw away the old. Like I said, I'm not saying throw away Peter Parker 4 miles. I'm saying give us the solid Peter Parker we grew up to love, and then give us Mal, who we love now just as much.
Like we've already moved
Don't
past
just
Peter
throw stuff.
Parker, but give us Miles, damn it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Because the only Miles we are getting, well, we got Into the Spider Verse and the next Spider Man game. Which,
Game, yeah.
side
The little
note,
DLC.
Miles has a cat sidekick.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Curious to know how that will go.
Yeah, that's very nice. All right, let's move away from the big two for a while and the death of the theater and go into streaming service once again with Bad Hair from Hulu. Saw this trailer, thought it was dope. Bad Hair from Hulu is a I'm gonna say a suspense thriller, a horror suspense thriller. Did I use all the right adjectives? I hope so.
Yes.
Set in 1989, where a young African American woman is out there rocking the natural in the 80s, letting it be loved, but she got this job, her dream job. She wants to be like the superstars, but you gotta straighten your hair to get on TV. And well, she gets her hair straightened, but there's an ancient evil African spirit in this hair. And the story of this myth and the telling of these old tales mixed in with the 1980s, late 80s aesthetic, and just the combination of it all with what our identity is, what we got to do to survive in a racist, white supremacist, anti-black society, and the folklore of our culture that we've lost and rediscovering it in the horror genre. Love it. Paulina, what do you think about Hulu's Bad Hair?
It took all the excitement away from it. I have nothing else to say. I'm joking. When I saw it, I was going to see it first before coming on here because holy shit. Um, I love it. The trailer. I didn't see the movie. Um, it's a fun original idea. Like finally, I like it a lot. I like that it's primarily an all black cast. Thank you. And it's a lot of recognizable faces too. Like
Mhm,
shit. Vanessa Williams.
mhm,
Oh gosh, what is his name?
Okay, let's not get stuck on it. Let's not get stuck on it. But yeah, there's a lot of it's
There's
really good
something
cast.
Blair. Something Blair.
It's yeah, it's a really good
Blair
cast.
Underwood.
Yeah, there you go.
Blair Underwood. There we go. Sorry. But okay,
Yeah, no, it's
but
all good. It's all good.
it looks
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a good
really
cast.
fun movie though. It really does. And
Yeah,
look, satire. It's also satire as well. And commentary. And it's just freaky. It's just freaky looking.
yeah,
And it's just something fun to look forward to. And hopefully there is going to be a lot
yeah,
more of these too. Because literally, Weave that comes alive and kills everybody. Like, what?
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Because I'm always side eyeing Weave, like, even though I've gotten extensions before, in for braids.
Mhm.
Don't do it all the time, y'all. Just don't. Yeah, it's a great. It looks great.
I
So,
love this new set of African horror,
mhm.
which does go back to our African roots and the mythology, our folklore from the South during slave times, and bringing it forward instead of it just being like, oh no, scary stuff because there's a man with a gun, like like that's not horror for us. We got to deal with that every day with police. So let's get something actual horror, spiritualism, mysticism, like that stuff. Like I said, I'm cool with Jordan Peele. Don't get me wrong, Jordan. Jordan, I love you. Jordan, call me. I love it. I love Jordan Peele stuff, which is rooted in black reality here. But let's get our folklore. We got a rich culture. Let's use it, use it. Can't look forward to bad hair. Really, really look forward to sitting down watching bad hair. Um, yeah. So also in other streaming news, Amazon Prime last week released the Invincible trailer. Invincible is a skybound entertainment comic book about a young boy learning his powers that his father is the premier superhero on Earth and an alien, and his discovery of those powers and what makes him invincible. Man, oh man, did I love this comic book when it was coming out. Like I had a girl I liked at the time dating. I bought her like all the hardcover graphic novel format. The expensive ones. My collectors know. My collectors know. Bought her the whole thing, read it before she did, then gave it to her. I did that. And this animation looks so accurate to the comic book. P, tell me your thoughts on Invincible from Amazon Prime.
I don't have much to say about it because I honestly have never heard of Invincible before. But taking a look at
Mhm.
the trailer, it looks definitely like something that will catch my interest to watch. I'm sorry, I'm like really neutral on this because I don't know what it is. Like I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it before. This is
Right, right.
like one of the best things about this podcast is that I get to learn about stuff I never heard of before, and it gets my interest. So this looks like something I am interested in,
Nice,
and I don't know what to
nice,
say about it. So I apologize, guys. Hopefully, I'll have
nice.
more to say when I see it.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, next year. Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Cool. Speaking of Skybound Entertainment, they also are doing a podcast, an audio book based on Invincible. And no, I'm sorry, let me get that right. Based on their other smaller properties down in big, because Skybound, for those who don't know, also do The Walking Dead. So they do Walking Dead. They got Invincible. So they're expanding outside of The Walking Dead because I'm sorry, y'all. I used to love that TV show. I used to.
Used to.
Sucks. Yeah, sucks. And since the comic book ended, yeah, that's it. The comic book's over. It ended. Yeah,
There's no
the
follow up.
show sucked. Yeah, so yeah, they're expanding. They're smart. They're like, no, we need to let people know we have other things. So you got the Invincible animated show, and then you have them doing podcasts for like a lot of their other books. I don't want to say smaller, but they're just their other books. P, how do you feel about Skybound expanding and starting off with the podcast side?
It's smart, honestly. Like you said, Walking Dead is over, so you got other stuff. Show us what's all this stuff about. So podcast stuff too. I've started to get into like podcast storytelling and stuff like that. So it's a wait and see. I'm
Mhm.
interested in more of their content because again, I've like there's some aspects of the comic book world and I haven't really delved deep into. So again, this is another fun learning experience for me. Like, okay, I'm these some of these sound interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Mm. And look, let's stay with that. Speaking of people expanding the podcast, DC announced more podcasts based on their bigger characters.
Yes.
Um, Genius. Again, DC. Look. See, DC, when you do something good, look, I'll rant about it well. If you put the creative teams behind it, give it time and give us some really cool concepts, we'll sit and listen. So we'll also sit and read, we'll buy stuff. But it has to be something that's interesting. What I've heard about these podcasts, and P, you can go into more detail. I'm interested. I want to sit down and listen to this Wonder Woman podcast. I do. I really do. P, DC, more podcasts. What you got?
I'm interested too. I want to learn more about what has gotten Wonder Woman so, you know, I don't want to say lost, like just he's just questioning like what is this justice system? What's going on? Because Wonder Woman is a symbol of justice. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unlike Batman. But then you have like on the Batman side, Bruce dealing with realizing that he is part of the 1%. And I'm just like, huh. So, is it going to be like the approach of, how rich people are just so oblivious to their status? Like they know they have money, they become philanthropists, let's say, like Bruce, you know, donate money, build foundations, all that stuff to help the city. But are they aware of their privilege? Are they aware that they're part
Mm-hmm.
of a percentage of people who benefit from basically the hard labor of everybody else? And that gave me pause because at first I'm just like, but he's a crime fighting hero. Well, vigilante with a lot of money. Of course no, he's not aware of it. From the panel, "Mm, no, he's not aware of it." I'm just like, okay. So the idea has sunk into the pawns of my brain stem, and I want to know more. I'm intrigued. I'm interested.
Yeah,
I want to
and I
find
think
more
what
space for in realizing this.
right, and that's the thing. I think that what they're realizing is, hey, there's some stuff that we can't put animation. There's some stuff we're never gonna see live action. There's some stuff, especially after the last couple of rants I had about them, that they're not gonna do in the comic books. Hey, yo, throw it on the podcast. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. No, throw it on the podcast. Oh, we want to dissect the white privilege of Bruce Wayne. Throw it on the podcast. We can't put that in the comic book. You ain't gonna never see it in a cartoon.
Oh no.
Throw it on the
Especially
podcast.
within the movies. Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, we can't seem to keep good, consistent writers on Wonder Woman, but we got a story that we want to tell. Okay, throw it on the podcast, yo. I'm actually kind of liking it because then when you see it works on the podcast, you know what you can do, Warner Brothers DC? Hire those people from the podcast to write the comic book. Oh my God. Then you have the comic book written there. Guess you got? You got an already done written script for the movie.
There you
God
go. There you go.
damn it.
The smartness. Like that's my thing about
Jesus.
DC entertainment, whatever movie verse. Like they're always in a hurry to make a
Mhm.
big blockbuster hit, and it's like it doesn't work because the stories are not established. Nobody, well, people knows of the
Yeah.
story obviously, but it's like there's no establishment. Why are you guys in such a fucking hurry? Why, 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 why? The fucking was it Justice League? I don't know. All them together. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Why Batman versus Superman? What is the point of the Batman versus Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Superman was trash. Although personally, I thought Henry Cavill, whatever, if he had better acting direction, he would have made a great Clark Kent slash Superman
Mm-hmm.
because he's got the face value for
Mm-hmm.
it. But then what's then okay? If you were going to have a Batman with Ben Affleck, okay, why not his own solo film before all of this? Who
Mm-hmm.
who was behind all this shit? Okay, the I swear to God, the only one that worked, and I mean to an extent, another one was Wonder Woman and Aquaman. To an extent, I think it was just more of a okay, this is a fun movie. Hey, um,
Yeah. Look,
Batman.
completely separate from everybody else.
Exactly. The fuck. What the fuck? And then and then after, who's Cyborg? Where's his movie? What about him? Does he ever have a background? Does he ever have his own solo thing in DC? Did he? Did he?
In the
No.
comic books. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where the fuck is that? Where is that? Where is that? DC, what the fuck are you doing? Where is that? Who's this? Who's this? Okay, who the fuck is this? And then Flash. I want to slap him. I'm sorry, but I want to slap him. I'm so tired of Flash. Um, I'm no, I'm tired of Flash on the screen. Maybe in the cartoons and the comic books, I'm okay with, but on the screen, no, no, no. I wanna slap Barry, cause no, I'm tired of him. Establish him. Where's Iris? Fuck is Iris? Get out.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
That comes later after
yeah,
all the superheroes meet each other. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Y'all are working backwards. No wonder y'all are failing. No wonder Ben Affleck
yeah,
didn't want to come back.
yeah.
Did he come back? No, barely, barely, barely. It was like pulling teeth with this guy. But it's no wonder Ben Affleck barely came back. You're hiring shitty directors and screenwriters, primarily directors, that that in all honesty nobody wants to work with because they're shitty. They're horrible human beings. Terrible. What's the point? What's the fucking point? There's a hype around it because of the names, but everything else sucked. Suicide Squad is like one of those things where it's like, huh, that doesn't exist. What are you talking about? I feel like. I feel like.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Working backwards. You said it perfectly. Working backwards, trying to catch up to Marvel, but in doing so, you making your stuff worse.
Exactly.
Marvel. It took them years to get to Avengers. Years, and let's be honest, they
So
made
did I.
mistakes, and they still made mistakes.
But they learned from
So it's
them.
like, come on,
They learned from
mm.
them. The here it's like, DC, stop it. Stop. Marvel's already ahead. Just stop. Stop. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I'm
yeah.
excited. That's why I am excited for these podcasts. I'm I'm cautiously optimistic. It's like, okay, this is something that's more niche in a way because it's a podcast. A lot more people are listening to podcasts now. Hopefully this will get those who fall asleep listening to podcasts awake because let's face it, not everybody can do a podcast. But when it involves Batman and Wonder Woman, both characters, not even characters. It's literally like Batman is a fucking mythos. It's a damn universe.
Hmm.
Not just the vigilante. Wonder Woman is a whole mythos as well. She's a whole universe as well. So there's a lot of meat with both of them. Although I still want my Commissioner Gordon in his Chicago days. But that's another podcast for another day. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the Spotify deal on the mentality of Bruce Wayne slash Batman. I like the whole thing of Batman, and I would like to learn more about Gotham. Just Gotham, like
Yeah,
just Gotham.
yeah.
It's a life on its own. It's like, what is this? It's a dirtier New York. All right.
Yeah, basically. We're gonna run through the last story that we had for our show notes. Then we got some breaking news, so I'm gonna go through this really quick.
Okay.
Red versus Blue Zero from Rooster Teeth is coming out on YouTube October 16th, which is today. So go check it out. Go over there. It's really dope. They've really changed up Red versus View. Red versus View was a comedy sketch using Halo characters and animation. It was Dude Bro stuff. Perfectly nothing wrong with Dude Bro stuff. But for them, they came out and said this. We want to capture a new, younger audience. So you know what they did? They turned to black people in hip hop. I just want to let y'all know that when they want us, they turn to us. We got to stop begging them for stuff and make our own stuff for us. Because they literally came out and said, no, we want a younger, hipper audience. It's hip hop. Red versus Blue Zero is unapologetically hip hop. And I love it. Great trailer, fun stuff. They upped the animation. Super cool. So that was going to be our closing story. Breaking news. This is the first time Pauline is hearing about this. DC and Warner Brothers have announced Michael B. Jordan will be producing the Static Shock movie.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I'm going to say it like this. Michael B. Jordan has proven his chops as an actor. Michael B. Jordan has proved his chops as a person with some of the stands that he's made about political and social issues. Michael B. Jordan has proven himself as a smart cookie. So him getting this production, like they came out, no, he producing. Now, some people had a production where I guess got my name on. I'm gonna sit back here and y'all can just say my name, Scorsese.
Mm,
But I think Michael B. Jordan's gonna put his finger like, no, we gotta do this. We gonna do this. We gonna do it right. Y'all want to talk about Black Lives Matter? Well, where my black writers, we gonna talk about what goes down at these protests for real. We gonna talk about police brutality, like we talked about this a few weeks ago in the new Origin. That's a major topic in the new Static book. Police brutality was the major look. It was a major topic in the original run. What am I talking about? But we gotta. You maybe you should have some people talk about it, be in this room, and to be behind it too. I love this. It's like, no, we not just in front, not just in the picture, but behind the scenes, black people doing black projects. And I know people say, well, so you mean so black people can only do black projects? No, but they need to be there. You understand that? Okay? We need to be there. That's what we're saying. Don't do a black project and ain't no black people involved except for getting taking orders. No, they need to be in positions to make it with a black authentic perspective. B, what do you feel about this breaking news?
This makes sense from an article that came out a couple weeks ago about Michael B. Jordan's experience with racism as an actor in Hollywood.
Mm.
I think his agent had some. Uh, his agent described, who I believe is an Asian man, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Um, Also relayed his own experiences. So this is fitting. This works. This is wonderful. Um, and you're right. Yes, he's definitely proven himself to be very serious about just more representation and just better roles and opportunities for Black people in Hollywood. So this
Mm-hmm.
fits. This fits. This really does fit. Plus, he's a nerd. He's a nerd.
Facts.
I can smack him for
Yeah,
his
facts.
pronunciation for Naruto, but that's just me. Otherwise, 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 I give credit where credit is due. I'm looking forward to this. He's backing this project. He's putting his money into it. He's producing this. I'm looking forward to this. There better be more. Like, I, mm, I'm trying to be more careful about having high expectations on certain projects because sometimes it just falls flat.
Mm.
So I'm gonna try to be carefully optimistic about this. But again, this is exciting news. This is great. This is
Yeah,
wonderful. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I want to see more. I'm going to follow this and I'm going to keep track of it. Shoot, I'll probably post things about it too because honestly, this is exciting. This is really exciting.
yeah, and this is going to keep posting stuff about it all as long as it's going on because I think it again
Hmm.
the milestone push seems to be legit. Like they're putting talent and money behind it. Like they're like, nah, 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 nah. We messed this up the first time around. We're not going to do it again.
Yeah,
So
there's big bucks.
yeah, I'm actually look, I'm excited about DC news, y'all. Okay,
For
look at
what?
me being excited about something that DC is doing. So yeah, I think that's about it for us. There was, of course, some other news and stuff that came out. Nothing we can get too deep in. DC, you know what? Let's do it like this. Paulina, do you have anything else in the world of Afrofuturism and geekdom that you want to talk about outside of our notes?
It's not quite Afrofuturism, but there is a game that is coming out on the Switch in 2021. I think it's already out on Steam. And it's the cutest little thing. It's a pixelated game. You get to play a turnip. You live in a forest with all your forest friends, and you owe more than $750. And it's called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
I like that name.
And as soon as when I saw the article for it, I was just like, wait, what? And then I saw the trailer, and I forgot to post this. I'm so sorry, but it's like it literally just popped up like not too long ago, and I'm like, this is glorious. This is glory, and it's adorable. It is adorable, and you get to play this tiny, cute little turnip who's trying to not only commit tax evasion, but basically reveal how shitty the government is, and it's it's nuts, literally. And I'm looking forward to
Nice,
it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I
nice,
mean,
nice.
it's already, like I said, it's already on Steam, and I think it's on itch.io. I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's coming out in the Switch next year. I believe maybe early to mid next year, and it just looks fun, like a little. I don't want to say anarchy, but with all that's going on right now, honestly, this will probably be a little fun thing to focus on. But I think that's about it.
Nice. Nice.
Hmm.
Well, for me, for Afrofuturism and in general geekdom, I have two things. I have one, yes, I am well aware of DC announcing their slate for whatever it's called, Future whatever, in January and February, 30 brand new comic books where it looks like they're trying to force diversity. Cool. The only thing for me, anyway, because I haven't gone through all 30 books, but the only thing for me right now that looks cool is Brazilian Wonder Woman. Other than that, I'm like, what are y'all doing and why are y'all doing it? But okay. So yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. I don't know, because say true. I tell you, I don't try to look for bad DC news. I don't. I don't. And look, yeah, it's just there. And I can tell you about Marvel, but I don't read Marvel comic books like I used to no more, except for X-Men. And X-Men is dope. So that's it. Everything else in Marvel kind of sucks. There, bad Marvel news. Marvel comics. There you go. The second thing is, and this actually made me happy. Todd McFarlane Toys has announced they have secured the license for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra: The Legend of Korra. Those toys are going to be fire. They're going to be dope. I don't care what nobody say. Todd can mess up can do some weird stuff. He'll add stuff that don't need to be there, but when he try to make it accurate, it's accurate. He give you, they may be oversized, but he doesn't like increase the price. It's oversized, but it's still $20. Like, yo, I I cannot wait for this. Actual Avatar Avatar figures, toys, collectibles, everyone to call them, that actually look good and can pose. I'm down. I cannot wait. 2021. I'm sorry, 2021. Cannot wait. Got announced. Cannot wait. Okay, that's it for me. So yeah, that's our podcast. We thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and follow us all on our social medias. Afro Anime Initiative on Facebook, Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram, Afro_AI on Twitter, and Afro_AI right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.